I had to stop and start the recording because I spent a minute trying to introduce myself.
Smile again.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sprint 3 of the Indiecade Game Jam. This is not welcome back, but it's welcome. Boom. Today I'm gonna show you what I have been working on this past 2-week period, because this sprint was 2 weeks long, which means twice the amount of time, which means I should have made twice the amount of progress. Did I do that? Let's find out. Roll the intro. There is no intro. So I'm going to run through all the things that I've added this week, and you'll also see a lot of the things that my teammates have added, my lovely artist, co-programmer, narrative designer, and sound designer have created. So initially I'll start with the first thing that you'll hear, which is the sound system. So see, Godot has built in this lovely system of things called buses. You might be saying, but aren't buses things that you ride on to go to school? Yes, that's true, but they also control sound. So what I'm doing here is I have all of the sounds connected to this little script called audio system. This system is an auto load, so that means as soon as the game starts, this script is running, and all of the why is that still here? Sorry. All these sounds are connected to this script, and whenever you call this function play sound, you send in also a string that tells it what sound to play, and some of them have different variations. As you can see, the object crit sound has 6 different variations. Wow, so much variation. And all the sounds are threaded through a bus, which controls the volume, and also we can add like effects and stuff to it. We don't really have any reason to add those now because we don't have like caves or like underwater parts yet. Wait for the DLC coming out next year, or not. What we're really using it for is volume, so I can control the volume of the music through here. But you might be saying, but I can't use that if I'm playing the game. Well, now you can, thanks to this brand new menu screen. Wow, look at that. Isn't it so cool and awesome? It's so clean. Yes, I made a menu screen. This is what I did. We have 3 buttons. The quit button. Oh, shit. Oh, why did I do that? I'm kidding. That's what it's supposed to do. We also have a setting screen. So, so you can change the sound of everything in the game. It's actually pretty straightforward. You kind of just like take the value of whatever the bar is, and then convert that to it goes from 2 to 0. So if it's 2, it changes the decibel amount to like increase it by like half, like double. And if it's at 0, then it completely makes it quiet. So you can have like all the sounds go louder, you can have just the sound effects go louder, or just the music yeah, you know how soundbars work. Cool, right? So also we have a new game and a start button. Now you might be saying, well, which one do I click? So I can now go into the saving system, which we have. I already made a saving system with the rooms because the rooms were persistent, because like when you leave a room and enter a room, the things that change in that room or like that are added to that room should still be there when you leave and come back to it. It wasn't like that before, but now it is, because that's what I did this sprint. So the way that it works is basically, we'll go into the code for a second. We'll go into the mainframe. The room basically saves itself. It packs itself into a packed scene, and then it saves it to a file that's like a temporary room file. And then when it starts that room up again, the code checks to see if that room has a saved file there, and if it does, then it opens that. But if it doesn't, then it opens a new save file. It opens a new room using this base room right here. So like, if I do this new game, it's gonna start you, because also we start in the hut now, and also we have the world map. Now you might be saying, well, this isn't the tiny little corner of beach that I know and love that I've seen for the past 3 weeks. You're right, it's not, because I changed it. So yeah, we actually have the whole world map. You can't see it now, but you can see it here. It's like big. Hold on, just scroll up a little bit. Yeah, it's very large. We also have the lab over here. Jade and Emma finished their art, and it looks absolutely stunning. So I hope people, when they come see it, they're like, wow, this is the most beautiful art I've ever seen, because it really is it's really detailed. You can see it down to the pixel. Look at that. Look at those pixels. Oh my god, this is kind of loud. Hey, turn it down. I need to turn this down. I can open the pause menu and turn it down. Look at that. Wow, I love game design. Talk to me. Yeah, there's a lot of things on screen. We'll get to those. Anyway, so yeah, this is the world map. Super cool. It'll be more populated because these trees are very sparse, but we'll populate it later. Yeah, this is just for testing. Yeah. Anyway, So you see all these plants are very spread out, and you might be saying, what the hell is going on, man? Why are they look a mess, right? They look a mess. They do, because there's another propagation style. Oh yeah, I didn't make a video on this, but I'll explain the propagation and growing. I also added a propagation and growing because we are a game about plants and planting and revitalizing the world. So there's two systems for plants, which is wall style and radius style. So radius style means that it grows in a set. It checks a certain spot around it, and then if it's open, if it's free, if there's nothing there, nothing colliding with it, then it will grow something. It will grow a new plant there. And as you can see, the plants go from different stages. We only have 2 sprites in now, but like today we're putting in the sprites for the whole stages, and each plant will have like 6 stages. Oh, now I'm trapped. So there's the radius style that I just mentioned, and there's also wall style, which means it will grow in a set, in a completely straight line. And the way it also works very similarly, it checks the left and the right. If the left is, it checks either the left or the right. If one of the sides is open, it chooses one of the sides and grows it there. Obviously, if this one has something on the right, it's going to grow on the left, and if it has nothing, then it's not going to, if they're both full, then it's not going to grow anything. And you see I can't get through because, you know, it's blocked because there's plants there. How do I get through? I gotta break it down. Let's break this down. There's also a new QTE for axe objects. We decided to take out the shears. Yes, they're still there, but I forgot to take them out, but I'll take them out later. But since the game is gonna be kind of short. Okay, you're too loud. Thank you. Because the game is kind of short, we figured like we're only gonna need like a couple of objects and like there are a couple of tools to use, because we wanted to have it like a skill tree kind of where you unlock things, but it wouldn't really make sense just for the player to start with all them if you're starting with nothing. So yeah, we cut it down a little bit. Okay, now we also have sulfur pools. This is really short. It's just a cool little thing we didn't really want enemies in the game because it's not like a fight for your life kind of game. It's more of a explore the world type thing, and in order to help us like guide the player where they're supposed to go, we needed like things that would block your path. So we have unbreakable objects that are like big rocks. I literally just took the rock texture that Eden drew and make it big as you can see. And then we also have the sulfur pool, which is drawn by me. It's gonna change. Don't worry. The sprite's gonna change. It's really bad. I know. Don't say that. But you see when you enter, the screen becomes red around the edges, and you start taking damage. And the health bar on the right starts going down, and you hear damage sounds. And then you also are slowed when you walk through it too. So it's really forcing you to not like go through it. You might be saying, but what? A health bar? You didn't explain that yet. I'm gonna do that now. So you have the health bar on the right. It shows you your health. It also has a sun. So because Beep Boop, our player character, is a robot who is powered by the sun, by solar energy, when you're in the sun, you slowly regenerate health. But when it turns nighttime, you start taking damage over time because there's no sun. So how do you prevent that? Gotta go inside, and you need to sleep through the night. Oh my gosh, look, the text is different. Thanks to Davin for adding all the text in the hut. He also added the dialogue for the NPCs we have over here, but I'm not gonna show you that right now because this is my devlog. I'm sorry. Also, I don't have enough time to go through all of them because it's too long to edit. I have to do more work. I have more work to do. So we also, speaking of dialogue, we also have current objectives in the top right. We have missions now. The NPCs will give you missions. They're not like super in yet, but where you have the functionality so that once you get a new mission, it'll update this text right here to what you need to do. And I know it's a little off center because the game is supposed to be played like this. And now see everything fits perfectly. It will be updated in the top right when you get a mission, and then when it's done, it'll change back to save the world. It says Flowery because I just love Flowery. Like I don't even know who that is actually. I've never even heard of that character.
Say that again.
I'm also gonna show you guys real quick what it looks like when you load a game. So you see you have a bunch of these plants here, right? Also, real quick with the propagation system, I made a cool thing. So these plants they have like a generation variable tied to them. Okay, enough. They have a generation variable tied to them. So each plant that's created adds a generation, and then once it hits a certain generation, they will stop generating because we had issues where they would just grow infinitely and then just take up like infinite memory, and then the game would blow up. And obviously we don't want that. We want our game to be chosen for like incubators and people to actually play the game. So if it's not optimized, people are not gonna play it because it's gonna blow people's computers up. Hashtag true. Truth new. So if you see here, if I click new game, it's gonna basically what it does is it's gonna wipe all of the save files, all of the temporary files that it has. But if I click start, it's gonna keep the files that I had saved from my last playthrough on. So you'll see if I go out here, all these plants that were here before are still here, which is super cool, super awesome. It should be like that for each room. Honestly, this game only has a couple rooms that are going to be entered and exited pretty frequently, and that's the world map, which we're in right now, and then the lab, which is in like the top right corner, which I can't make it to right now because it's very far away. But when you start doing things in those rooms that need to be like saved, it will keep it updated so players can, you know, take a break, pause, or close the game and be like, hey guys, look at my garden, when you have gardens added, because that would be super awesome. Oh, let me also show you guys the loot tables. Now you might be saying, loot tables, just like Minecraft, my favorite block game. No, wait, true. Yeah, that is what it is. Actually, that is exactly what it is. So the way I did these was I made a loot table resource and then a loot table item resource. Now the loot table item resource has a actual item that Eden has created a while ago, connected to it into that like loot table item, and then it also has a weight. So then you change the weight of each item, then the loot table, the main loot table resource combines all those weights, and then it divides, it chooses a random number from that array of weight, and then it chooses one of the numbers. I can just show you the code. Why am I talking? Why am I explaining? It's right here. It chooses one of the values in it, and if it's less than or equal to one of the weights, then it chooses that item to drop. It's pretty straightforward, but it's really cool because we actually are able to like customize it so that you're able to customize it pretty well, pretty fluidly. If you go to the world map, you can see the breakable object here has a bunch of loot tables for each stage. So like if this plant is super tiny, obviously nothing's grown on it yet, so like for example it wouldn't drop like it's like precious like matter, but at the final stage it'll drop, it has a higher chance to drop the precious matter because it's fully grown. So you gotta wait for it to grow before you can harvest it, just like real life. Boom, 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 boom. And one more thing, because I was really proud of this. So as you can see, the rooms have cameras. Obviously, that's how you see things. But you know, you don't want to be able to walk off the edge here. So the rooms have cameras that have limits on them. Each room has its own camera that is basically taken from when the game controller starts the room. It takes the camera from the room and gives it to the player, and then once the player leaves that room, the player gives it back to the room. Because if we keep making new cameras, they're not going to have the same limit unless I wrote in each camera's code a specific like limit to set, which is absolutely asinine. I'm not doing that. But the way that I do it, I think is pretty good because it makes it so that I only have to make one camera for each room, and it's given back and forth seamlessly. And if it's not given, if something really breaks, then it makes a new camera, but the player can just walk off the edge. But that won't be a problem because this is all collision. You can't walk through water yet. Is that spoilers? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool system that I made. So it gives us ability to have infinite cameras everywhere. Yeah, super cool, awesome. Yeah, I think that's pretty much mostly it. There's like a bunch of like little things, like little like bug fixes and stuff. For example, the selecting system when you're walking near a plant, it used to be like when a plant would enter your vicinity, it would start highlighting, but that was really glitchy because you see you have two plants here, and like there would be two plants in the vicinity, and then it'd be like, wait, I'm selecting this plant but it's not breaking, and then my teammates were like, I just can't break plants at all, and I was like, wait, no, that's bad, because everybody should be able to interact with it. They shouldn't have to be like, how do you do it? And I have to be like, oh, you have to walk in front of it but walk away from it, then walk. Like, no, that's stupid. Like it should be straightforward. So what I did now is it has a radius, it has an area, the player has an area on it, and when it's near a plant, it'll make it highlighted. And if it's the closest, whatever is the closest plant will stay highlighted. So like this one will have both these highlighted, but like if they're both highlighted, I can't even recreate it. Oh, I can. But whatever's closest to the player will be the one that the player interacts with. And then I also made it so that you can click, because our teammate was like, it makes more sense that you're able to click things versus like only pressing E to interact. So I made it so that you can do both because versatility and such. So yeah, and you also saw the new QTE, which is you have to spam whenever it's in the red, and if you click while it's well, it's not in the way that it goes down, so it prevents you from just like doing that. Like that's not gonna work. So you have to time your clicks to the beat. There's no beat. I'm kidding. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I think this is a pretty successful sprint. Now that we're in sprint 4, things are gonna get super serious. Because this is the last sprint, so we have to start polishing the game, finishing it up, making it actually playable, and making promotion materials and trailers and such, and uploading it onto itch actually, and making a web build. Oh, I hate web builds. But yeah, I think this should be good. We're in pretty good shape. Honestly, last sprint, we weren't able to make something. We weren't able to publish it like in a super like play testable state. But that's okay because we're all still here and we'll do it now. And we have the power of teamwork and pivoting. As they say, all you can do is life is pivot. That's actually not they. That's what I said. That's my quote. I'm quoting that. Put that in the channel. Put that in the description. Okay, I'm really hot and tired. Good night. Thank you for watching. It's actually the middle of the day. Why did I say good night? See you in sprint 4, I guess. Lol.